So we do a lot of family engagement. So a lot of companies don't do that. They just focus on, we're going to get your child. He comes in at this score. We're going to get him to this score. Yeah, but what about all that in between? Because you here want to be lifelong learners. You don't want them just to study for a test. You want race education. And so that's what we do. And so we hope when people see Nyla Nova STEMversity, they like, oh, there go the party, there go the fun. When we're bending, we got balls and we hula hooping, and kids are and families are coming over and doing stuff that some people come over and say, I haven't hula hooped in 30 years. Exactly. We catch them. We come in and now learn about why I can't personally hula hoop, and because I realized I was always using the wrong height. You don't realize using a hula hoop is about science. If it's the wrong height, it's not going to go around you properly in order to. So as simple as hula hooping and jump rope, we're teaching STEM, but we're incorporating the whole family.
This episode is brought to you by me. Yes, by me, Victoria Odekomaya. I'm a brand photographer and strategist based locally here in Indiana. And I love helping women, small business owners, and professionals with side hustles build and elevate their brand. So if you're in the market and looking for someone that would thoroughly help you create a beautiful imagery for your brand and help you connect to your target audience, I'm your girl. So why choose me? Because I offer a beautiful, luxurious celebrity photo shoot experience for all of my clients. The celebrity experience includes professional hair and makeup, wardrobe styling. I serve wine and chocolate covered strawberries, and I'm playing your favorite music because it's important to me that you look and feel great to create the images that we know will truly connect with your audience. So what are you waiting for? If you're looking for photography to help you elevate your brand, call on your girl because I got you. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Own Your Brand Show. I'm your girl, Victoria Odekomaya. And you know, on this show, I love to inspire, I love to educate, and I love to promote women. And so today, I'm talking to Nakeisha Washington. She is an incredible lady with a heart of gold to educate our young ones. You know, and I love everything that she's doing, especially in the area of STEM. She's actually the STEMsation queen. I call her that. You can, check her out on social media and all of the amazing things that they're doing, including touring the world, into helping to educate our young ones. But in this conversation, she talks to us about how she started her business, which I love to hear about, but then also talks about our ways of branding and marketing herself. Because, as a business owner, it's not enough to have a passion. It's not enough to start a business even if we don't know our branding, our target audience, or how to market ourselves so that people know, like, and trust us. It's not really a business because it's not sustainable. So today, I hope you come out from not only learning more about Nakeisha, but also learning one or two ways that you can brand, market your business so that you can stay on top and keep winning. So without much ado, let's get into it. Hi, Nakeisha, how are you doing?
Hi, Victoria. I am doing great. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, it's so good to see you. I am so thankful that you're in my life, because we've been friends for some time now and just been, doing the do,
Just using business, just trying to make it do.
Yes. So for those that don't know you, I call you the STEMsation queen. You are definitely owning it in that area, helping to, educate our children, even adults too, about the importance of STEM, because kind of like that's where the world is going. We need all of that information to help our generation and even future generation be better. But for those that don't know you, I don't want to give it all to away. I want you to tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Yes, so I've been a STEM educator for almost 25 years. Oops, telling my age. But those who don't know that science, technology, engineering, and math, because we always assume everyone knows what STEM is, and they really don't. So I wanted to make sure. From there, I always noticed girls, especially girls of color, were like to shy away in STEM, science and math classes, because I was a middle school and high school teacher. And so I always tried to encourage them in my class, do different things. And so I was always like, if I got the chance, I want to do something a little bit earlier. So when I had my daughter, Nyla, I created Nyla Denae Enterprises, which was to encourage girls, especially girls of color, just to be confident, have good character. And then from there, I was like, man, I need to merge the two. And so just like you said, STEMsation came about. It's merging my three loves. It's about passion for science, and technology, engineering and math, of course, the STEM, but it's also merging fashion and merging good character and just letting girls see that they can be STEMsations as well. You don't have to look like Bill Nye or Albert Einstein. And so I came up with the word STEMsation. And so I was like, oh man, this is going to be great. But how do I get it out there to the masses? I'm like, I call myself the STEMsational queen. And so from there, my daughter would come up to the school. She was 2 years old. And she'd be like, what's this? What's this in the laboratory? And so I'm like, that's a beaker. That's a flask. And it just hit me. I was like, let me do something where it encourages her to learn, but also all of the girls. So at the age of 2, me and her started writing our first children's book, which is Who is Nyla Nova. And so there we used Nyla Nova STEMsation. And so she's our science superhero who goes around and teaches girls, and now not just girls, but all kids about believing in themselves, having confidence, that they can be great in STEM. But we started at a way early age. We started as early as 3 years old, because by the time they get to middle school and high school, if you don't catch them or get them excited or give them that confidence, you kind of lose them. And so that's just been my journey. I started, like I said, in this classroom, wanted to do something for my own daughter. And I was like, there's other girls out there. And then from there, it just developed on into something else. We'll talk about it later, but it's just amazing now. I am trademarking STEMsations, and STEMsation is it's registered. And so I'm coming up with these nice little STEM names that we're utilizing, and we want to make them household names.
That is incredible. I mean, just to hear your story and how that ties into your daughter too, because, that's just amazing. I know that she definitely is the hero. I know the book, I don't know if you have it here, but we will share it on the screen so that people can see too, because you are an author and so is she too.
Yes. And that was part of when I thought about it, because I had 2 grown sons, and then I had this little girl that's coming, and I wanted to leave a legacy. I said, because I wanted to leave something for her just to be able to grasp and embrace as well. And so from there, that's why she's been on all the publications since she was 2 years old. She's learning about royalties. She's learning about, being a published author. So when she signs her name, now she can write in cursive. She signs her name in cursive. I was like, go ahead, Nyla. She let them know I am the author. And so we have 3 books that are out and 2 more that are on their way. And so now she's really got more of a hand in it. Designing the cover, to deciding what goes into the activity book. She has to get the seal. We have to get the seal of approval from her. And so everything. And when we say about CEO, she's learning how to be a CEO, because the whole goal is, as she grows into learning more about business and doing this business, and it becomes hers. And so she goes to all the board meetings. She's, the brand representative, brand ambassador. And so it's just something that just developed, but I always feel like this was my purpose. And so I'm super excited to be able to share with the world Nyla Nova, the STEMsation. And then from there, we have another little journey that we'll talk about.
Yes. So just one real quickly about that, just as you're helping her grow and develop and creating this, empire, you're also inspiring other children too, because people our age, even in your program already, everything that you're doing is to help children, catching them young to learn about STEM and how they can, implement all of these ideas and education, but also people that are friends, they are indirectly being influenced too, because if she can do it, then they can do it too. So you're really building, strong foundation for these girls and little young ones. So this is amazing.
Thank you.
So tell us, I know there's something else that you've been, you've been teasing us with. So tell us what that is.
Well, from having Nyla Nova STEMsation, having the books, we were like, okay, we keep always telling, girls, you're great, you're great, you're great. But I'm like, the world needs to embrace that, and not just, because you can tell this girl that she can go in there with all the confidence, but if she's interviewing for a lead scientist position, or she's going in to be a doctor, we can't just empower her. We got to equip and educate, and that's part of Nyla Nova STEMversity. What we do is now we don't just focus on the little girls. We focus on the younger kids as a whole. And so what we do is we focus on pre-K through fourth grade. We call it Nyla Nova STEMversity. So it's ran, Nyla Nova still the face of everything. But what we do is we make sure that all kids know that they have superpowers and they're competent, but everything they see, we make it culturally relevant. So they always see a brown face, whether it's a girl or a boy, they're always going to see we promote inclusion, because I always say Johnny is working with Nyla on a project and they're 5, 6 years old, and he remembers, man, Nyla was really bringing it. Oh my God. So say he's the head of a CEO 500 company, and there's a young lady that comes in that's interviewing for a position, and he won't have that doubt. We're trying to erase that doubt. Man, she's qualified, she's this. And then that memory of, man, I remember I had someone like her when I was 6 years old, and she was amazing. And so when we start planting those seeds where the woman is coming in confident, the CEO is confident in her abilities because he's worked with young ladies of color and he realizes that they are amazing as well. So it's educating society, really. And so that's what STEMversity does, is we go around to all these schools, and as we're promoting college life and telling them they enrolled in college, when they enroll in STEMversity, they call us professors. They're learning the lingo, but they're also working in groups, and they're working in diverse groups. And so as they're completing their challenges, they're learning from each other, they're embracing each other. And so this is things that we want to create as they grow up, because then if they're in those positions, they have to work on a team together. There's no more doubt. There's no more, is she really qualified? I don't know, because they see all these images on TV, where they see girls, fighting, and I want to erase that. I want them to see us coming in powerful and impactful and educated and intelligent. So,
that's so powerful. That is so powerful.
Diversity, and so it's just amazing. They, like I said, they call the teachers professors. They even call Nyla Professor Nyla. And sometimes we in classes with 6th graders, and Nyla's only 8. So last year when she was doing this, she was in 2nd grade. So they're calling the 2nd grade Professor Nyla, and they're like, man, she's super smart. And we're like, no, you're super smart too. So if a 6th grader can look at a 2nd grader and be like, she's smart, they can start looking at themselves, and they can start looking at Sally and Mary and Shaquana and Nakeisha, Victoria. They're like, she's smart, she's smart. And that's what it's all about. It's just spreading that, like we said, we educate, we empower, and we equip, so that the society will be ready. Because you can't just keep telling girls that they're great. We got to let society see it, embrace it, feel it. And so then they go from there. So
I love that, because, sometimes it's just a lack of education, right?
It really
lack of exposure for some people, right? Yes. It's just their ignorance. And I mean, not to excuse that, but, the job is also on us, right? Mm-hmm. To help educate them. And what the better way to do it than to start when they're young, right? Exactly. Where they don't get to see the color, right? They see the potential instead of color or anything else that divide us. That's amazing.
Yes. And it's amazing just to see when they, because when we intentionally put them in different groups, so they don't get to sit with the same people each time. They have name bags. And so like their book bag. So each time they come in, they have to find their book bag with all their supplies, but it's always on a different desk. And they have to introduce themselves to the other student that they're working with, or the scholar, because we call them scholars. And so it's learning how to embrace new people, understand that you may not always work with the same people. You might not sit with your friend, but learning from other people. And so everything we do is very intentional. We do in all our lessons. There's a culture piece where they're learning about pioneers that are color or woman. And then they're also learning about practitioners now. And so that they're learning about people that are doing it now that looks like them. And so we everything's intentional because you have to be now. Like you said, that, and we can't say, well, they just didn't know. No, we're making sure they know. We're making sure they see it.
Yes, that is incredible. So you touched on what I wanted to go on next to how you work with them. You know, you talked about having the book bag, so you provide the supplies. I know that I was one of the guests at one of your workshops. Tell us a little bit about how you actually work with them physically. I know you also go into schools, and just give us an idea of how that all works.
So what we do, like I said, we have professors. So we hire and train our professors in-house. Every month they have professional development where we're training them on the STEMversity way, we call it. And so what they're learning is, as a professor, they're learning about how we work with each child. Our lessons always include mindfulness. And so we're teaching even our professors meditation skills, how to calm their mind, how to ease that anxiety, because we know in society, especially post-COVID, people still have that anxiety about just being around other people and just getting back into school. And so we teach our professors that as well. So all our lessons have a mindful moment. So students, they have to meditate for a couple of minutes. We set that meditation up where we do a different exercise each time. It may just be breathing. Sometimes it's closing their eyes, doing their finger, doing those types of things. Then what we also do, each lesson has social emotional learning activities. So before we even get into STEM, we're reaching the whole child. So they're learning about good character skills, healthy eating habits, making good choices. Because before, like I said, before you even start talking about STEM, we want to reach the whole child. And so our professors are trained on that as well. And then in each lesson, we do some type of what we call challenges. So we do brain teasers, riddles, problem solving, because we want everyone to be a problem solver, critical thinker. And so, and since we're dealing with kids with young ages, we want them to be able to think outside the box. Like, how would you solve this problem? So we do a lot of those things. And so, and then we go into the STEM lesson, then we introduce it, and we do the 5E lessons where they explaining it, elaborating, evaluating, and those types of things. And so we're very intentional. But one thing that I love about our company is that we are a diverse population. We have from 19 years still in college, training in college. So we have retiree educators that are all joined forces together for one mission, is the purpose of serving our community, serving our littlest learners, because we want to grasp them early. And so normally when you get when we come into the schools, we are at least 2 people, but it's usually 3. And so they have different ages, look very diverse, but they're pumping up STEMversity. We're explaining about college and just depend on the kids' ages. They're either in our freshman class or sophomore class. So they'll say, I'm a junior and I'm a senior, and it's so cute. They're calling us professors. They're learning about midterms. So they're learning all that before we even do STEM. So we're promoting higher learning. And then we always say, if they don't go into the STEM-based career, we want them just to be equipped with learning about different things, learning about STEM-based careers. We're learning about problem solving, critical thinking, because they're going to need those activities and those skills, whether they go, into being an artist or, whatever they want to do. We want to just instill that confidence and getting over their anxiety and being in our challenges that we do with them. They're never that easy. And we do that on purpose because we're teaching them not to get frustrated, because you have challenges in life. We say, now, you got to take that, do that breathing exercise now. You thought you can stack up the cups and build this great tower, but it keeps falling. Step back, count to 10. Because we want them when they're in the lunch line. And I told them, if somebody bumps you, don't go all crazy. Step back, count to 10, gather yourselves. So we always say we're trying to prepare them for success in school and beyond and stuff, in their neighborhood, in their community, at home with their parents. And so when, like you said, when you came for our girls' spring break camp, we had STEMsations. Hey, we had STEMsations, which are ladies that are of color that are in the STEM fields, come in and talk to our youth and provide them with those nuggets of their journey and what they're doing now, and get them excited, because you'll be amazed at how many people don't know about the different, like they think STEM, they just think scientist, engineer, doctor, that's it. But there's a wide array. And so when you came, of course, you came as a scientist and doing what you do. We had a hairstylist that talked about mixing chemicals. They were like, wow, we didn't think we had to know anatomy. Yes, they thought they can just go in there and do hair. And so it's those things. And we had like I said, I had a chemist come, an engineer who worked on cars and developing cars. And so they're like, oh man, you mean I can develop cars? And so we just love and like I said, exposing them to different things. And so we're very intentional about our lessons and our experiences. And then, I'll let you answer the next question. But then we talk about this one or something else.
No, I love it. So I want to get into the branding and the marketing piece of it. But before we do, I know that you just pretty much came back from touring the world with a group of your youth. Tell us about that.
Yes. So we, so everything I do is very intentional. And I say that because I always think about what do I want the best for Nyla? So that's why I was like, hey, she has some anxiety with some things. That's why we did the meditation things. I want her to be a problem solver. So everything I do, I think about Nyla, then think about how I can make that relate to other kids as well. Because I'm like, she's going through these issues. I know other kids are too. So one of the things, ever since Nyla was 9 months old, she's been traveling with us because I like to travel. But now I'm older and I had this little girl and I was like, well, she has to come on with me. So ever since she was 9 months old, she's been traveling. So she's been having a passport. And so she loves to travel. And I was like, okay, I want to continue to travel with her, but I don't want it to be in isolation. So what we did was we thought, like I said, when we do STEMversity, we think of it as a university. So if you think of the bookstore houses her books, our courses is the coursework. But then you think about, man, study field trips and study abroad. So from there, we came up with STEM Ventures. And so it's basically taking that, going on trips, whether you're local, because we do local to the Children's Museum, then we go regional to Kentucky Caves, but then we go international. So we took our first international trip to London and Paris because Nyla has always wanted to see the Eiffel Tower up close. And so instead of just taking her, we offered this to the community. And so we got several young ladies. And it's not just for girls. Everybody thinks it's just for girls. No, guys can go as well, of all ages. Some people went that didn't even have kids. They just wanted to go. And then what we do is not just going to view London and Paris. As tourists, it's a STEM discovery trip. So they're learning about the different things that are going on overseas or different locations. So one of the things that they were able to do was a CSI type, investigation. And so normally these are high school trips, but I was like, now that 8 years old, she was sitting next to high schools trying to figure out the mystery. And so when we went into this uni, because that's what they call it, London University, they had it set up like a crime scene with a real London detective. And she talked to them about how it is over there, how they use CCTV. Like you're monitored nonstop. You get on the bus, there's cameras. You go to the store, there's cameras. We don't have that here. Like you might be a camera here, but everything is videotaped. So they have a high conviction rate because you're being recorded. And so they learned about that. They learned about how most London detectives don't even carry guns because they have a strict gun law. So it's that exposure about you not just going over there as a tourist, you're learning about the culture through STEM discovery. And so every year we're going to take an international trip.
Wow. I love everything that you're doing, especially also because you're very intentional about it. I think that's incredible. A lot of business owners, I think we start out with the intention. Sometimes we forget, sometimes things get happen because, running a business can be it's a lot of work, right? You're wearing multiple hats. So I kind of want to get into like the branding and the marketing. I know there's quite a few people that maybe are in the same space as you are, and I'm sure that you have studied them to, because we have to kind of check out our competition. Not that we want to do the same thing, but just kind of see, the SWOT analysis and things like that. So tell me, what sets you apart? Like when people are comparing, should I take my child to this? Because I know you do after school programs as well too, right? So because your target audience, I know we haven't mentioned that your target audience are, schools. I know those are your big target audience. Maybe just touch on that a little bit, who your target audience are.
And just going back to branding and marketing, that's something else because we started off under the Nyla Denae Enterprise brand. And so we had like a brown color and it was a peach color because it was for Nyla. But then we had these Nyla Nova books, which was more our teal and our purples and our pink. And so people were confused. And so they're like, is it Nyla Denae? Is it Nyla Nova? So I had to make a decision. As much as I wanted to keep the Nyla Denae Enterprise brand going, I was like, that's just a parent company. So it took us a couple of years because it takes time. And I just want, your listeners to understand this is not all overnight. And so it took us time to realize that you can't confuse your target audience. They have to be able to recognize your brand. And that's what's going to set you apart because they're going to see it, then you're going to breathe it. And so when we decided to just focus on the Nyla Nova and then the STEMversity, we came up with the main colors, which is our purple and our teal. And then when we use the STEMsations, we kind of bring in our pink just to kind of say, okay, this is a STEMsation event. But we had to get very intentional about the colors. We had to get intentional about our logo, and our logo had to look like what we do. So we couldn't have something that was not science related because as soon as somebody look at your logo, they need to know, oh, she does something with science. They don't have to know what STEMversity means. They see the logo, they see that, and so what sets us apart is that, once again, we're very intentional. We are, I am an educator, number one. So I am not someone that bought a franchise like, our competitors and just say, I am set it up, kids gonna come. I have over 20 years as a principal, instructional coach, all of those things to know how to educate children. So I have that experience. And then I also have the experience of how to educate some of our most struggling learners. I've been in, Gary Public School System, IPS school systems. And one thing that I know that it was because some of our kids just didn't feel connected. So they didn't see a face that looks like them in the classroom. So as soon as they saw someone didn't look like them, they turned off. So what sets us apart is that you're going to get a lot of, you're going to get people that look like them, that understands their culture. So we understand that our students, especially since we do the after school program, we don't want it to feel like school where they stuck to a desk, they can't talk, they can't collaborate, because our culture is very about community. We talk, we work and talk and still get things done. And so we allow the kids to talk. We like the kids to get up and move around. We play music. And so when the kids are working, the music, some people think is a distraction. No, it calms them. They're listening to the music, they're working, and I tell them they can get up and dance. So we make it fun, but we're very much about the culture. And so when you see us, I don't have it on now, but we wear bucket hats. We come in there, hey, like it's a party, because that's what you want. You want them to want to learn. So they like, here comes STEMversity. We got our own clap. So we bring in those culture pieces. And so what's amazing, kids that are not part of, the African-American culture, but they grow, they see it. They see it in videos, they see it in TV, and they are drawn to it. So when I say they do our clap just as well as we do and stomp louder than we do and dance with us, it's that embrace. We embrace it, they embrace it. And so what sets us apart, if you go into like a learning center that is just there to I'm going to educate, and you're going to come in and you're going to take out your book and I'm going to teach. They get that at school. They get that, and that's turning them off. What we do is make it like a party. Like we always say, we're going to have fun first. Our professors have fun. Our scholars have fun. And then we not only work with the scholars, we do a lot of family events as well. And so we talked about the branding and stuff. We target schools because they have the kids. But then once the kids are in our program, we reach out to the parents, and we do a lot of things on Saturdays program. We do parent workshops in the evenings. And so I would say we're a community-based organization. We don't just focus on your student come, you pay us, and then they go. No, you're stuck with us. We're constantly sending you information. We're inviting you to our bowling parties, our skating parties. We're inviting you to go on our trips with us. And we're offering tutoring. We're offering these things where the parents can come in and read to their kids and do activities with their kids. So we do a lot of family engagement. So a lot of companies don't do that. They just focus on, we're going to get your child. He comes in at this score. We're going to get him to this school. Yeah, but what about all that in between? Because you here want to be lifelong learners. You don't want them just to study for a test. You want to embrace education. And so that's what we do. And so we hope when people see Nyla Nova STEMversity, they like, oh, there go the party. There go the fun. When we're bending, we got balls and we hula hooping, and kids and families are coming over and doing stuff today. Some people come on and say, I haven't hula hoop in 30 years. Exactly. We catch them. We like come in and now learn about why I can't personally hula hoop, and because I realized I was always using the wrong height. You don't realize using a hula hoop is not about science. If it's the wrong height, it's not going to go around you properly in order to do it. So as simple as hula hooping and jump rope, we're teaching STEM, but we're incorporating the whole family. So I'm confident. You're not going to go into some of these other competitors and they up there jump roping with families and teaching them stuff as you go. And then they leave and they're like, oh my God, we can't wait to come back. So
I love that. I love how you articulated that you're about making education, STEM education fun. And like the way you said about hula hooping and the science in it, like there's a lot of things that we encounter every single day that we don't even realize that there's science and elements of STEM behind it. So that's amazing. So real quickly about marketing. So you have this huge, amazing business and you're touching lives and you know what sets you apart. What are some of the things that you can share with us on how you attract those right fit clients, your marketing?
Mm-hmm. So what we do, we heavily on social media. We definitely utilize the social media aspect to reach out to different targets. We use different ones. Of course, for LinkedIn, we use more of the professional community where we're trying to reach the directors and organizations, the superintendents. On Facebook, we try to do like our local families. And so we reach out to them. And so our branding is always, it looks similar, but it has a different eye. So, like the fun, crazy stuff you see more on Facebook to get the families involved, but then the more professional, hey, I'm at this event, we're doing this, we're supporting this charity, or you get more on LinkedIn. So you have to know which, and then Instagram, of course, is the ones that are not, close to us and not, those are the ones that we're trying to get for like our virtual classes or just getting more with brand awareness. So you definitely have to know on which social handle it's the best targeted fit for you. Not all of them may work for your business, and you have to figure that out. And it's been some years where we're like, nope, you're doing it about the wrong way. I don't care how much you post. If you're not posting the right things to the right audience, it just goes over their head. And so when we send out just notifications and different things, well, it's got our logo on there, we got our colors. When we have our business cards, we leave them at organizations, our flyers. We do paper, we email, we have a monthly newsletter we send out. On our website, we do blog posts. We're all about just getting the word out because people won't know the good things you're doing if they can't find it. So if you're like too afraid to get on social media, you got to get out there. I used to be scared because I always said I hated my voice and I didn't want to be on there. And now you see me on lives and different things and podcasts. I'm like, hey, people have to hear your story. Like they always say, before people can buy whatever product you're selling, they want to know about you. They are buying into you. And so if they don't see you, they don't know who you are, they don't know what you represent, it's very hard for them to buy something. And you have to be passionate. And people know if you're faking it. So if if you like, hey, I'm just gonna sell this and grab this and a whole bunch of money really quick, and you up there like buy, but you're not educating and you're not telling them how this is going to help them in the value, you're not, you may get a couple of sales at the beginning, but that longevity and that sustainability is not going to be there. So it's about being intentional, reaching out, being there, showing up. When I go out to places, you're always going to see me in some type of teal, purple, or pink, because people are going to be like, oh, that. And then when they see me on stuff, and so it's just those little things that people don't think about. But then you want them to be like, she has on those colors. Oh, she's with STEMversity. It's those little things that you don't think about, but they subliminal. You want people to just start recognizing and sinking in their conscious. And so when they think about, I got a STEM program coming up, they like, oh, the lady in purple or the lady, the STEMversity, the STEMsation person. So that's the things that, all the marketing branding books are going to tell you the same, but it's not until you internalize it and make it your own and be authentic. If you're not authentic, people see right through it. Like they know when you're just trying to sell and not trying to offer your value.
That is amazing. First of all, I have to say you have a beautiful voice. So yes, you do. Yes, you do. But I love that you're very intentional. I love when you were talking about social media. You have to know your audience so well so that you can deliver and meet them at where they are. You know, so those days of jumping from social media or posting everything the same on all platforms, they're over. We have to be very intentional. I love how you are using your color, because that, people remember, right? And you're using your color even when you show up, they can connect the dots, just that intentionality. I love everything about it. All right. Before we go, you have anything that you would love to share with us? I know you have some programs coming up, right? So tell us a little bit about that and how people can contact you.
Okay, so just in any business, you have your highs and your lows. So I just want to first say, just encourage any business owner out there, keep going. I have to tell myself this every day. Don't quit because it can get hard. So we had a lot of success at the beginning. Now we're kind of really getting into our own, okay, really niching down everything that we want to do. So one of the things that we have launched is the Nyla Nova Foundation, because what we realize is schools, families, they can't afford a lot of the things we want to do, like going to Paris or London and those things. And so one of the things is that we're asking everyone if they can pitch in. We have a foundation that taking donations, taking sponsors, so that because it's a community, it's going to take a village. Because even like the schools, they're running into budget issues, and sometimes these enrichment programs are the first to get cut. But we see it as, we're going in and helping them, but if they got to decide on certain things, normally the enrichment programs are getting cut. And most of our kids are suffering because we're not back in those facilities. So we want to get back to those facilities. We want to get in there and continue to offer what we offer, but we need help. So we did start the Nyla Nova Foundation, which is a 501(c)(3). And so that if you donate, it's tax deductible, but you're also helping our mission of getting our books into schools. So we're big on STEM literacy, about kids have to learn how to read. And if you give them a fun book and do some fun activities around it, they're going to connect the dots and remember that. You can find us on anything Nyla Nova STEM, whether it's LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. And then we're also at the Nyla Nova Foundation.org website, donations and different things. But we always just say, please help us spread the word about us. Please help us. If you know of your company or organization that donates, send them our way, just let them go, because education is so important, but sometimes it doesn't get the funding that it deserves. And then people want to figure out, why is so much crime? Why is this? Why is that? It's because if you don't get the youth at a young age, then you don't give them nothing to appreciate and love and instill that. And then it's easier, like they always say, to, embrace young kids versus trying to fix adults. And so let's embrace and educate our kids now, so we don't have to say those kids, let's embrace them now. And so we need you guys' help. So like I said, NylaNovaSTEM.com and NylaNovaFoundation.org. Definitely, please help us so we can help our families, our communities. We want to build strong communities through education. And I want to thank you, Victoria, because when you talk about branding, you are a branding master specialist. You do an amazing job, and you kind of got me to get my stuff together. And so when I had to do your Boss Ladies photo shoot, I had to go in and be intentional about the pieces we picked, and then you had the nice stylist for me. And so I thank you for what you're doing in your branding market, because we couldn't do what we do as owners, business owners, and get the word out there without looking the part. And so what you're doing about highlighting women that are in business, that are doing amazing things with your Boss Ladies, I thank you for making me one. I have it on my wall. Everybody's had to come in. I'm like, yes, I was 2020 Boss Lady. And so I thank you for that. And I thank you for all the branding tidbits and the tips and everything that you give out. Like you said, I'm watching your page as well. I need to do this, or my lighting needs to be this. And so I'm even learning how to, lean in and do this. And girl, you teach it. So I just thank you for all that you're doing, because you have an amazing space and heart, and everything that you do is excellent. And I'm just so proud of you as well.
That is amazing. I'm going to leave the links to everything in the comments. So, I'm appealing to anyone that's listening, our audience, to it takes a community, it takes a village, and I know that you firsthand some of the work that you're doing. I see, and thank you so much also for carrying us along, on Facebook. I see all of your activities on all the social media. I love the Facebook. I always look forward to it, and again, I would say that's also a great marketing avenue too, because some people, like you said earlier, people are not going to know unless you show them, you tell them, and you're doing such a wonderful job. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come speak to the youth too. It was amazing, a great opportunity for me. And so, like I said, the foundation, I know it's good. It's going to good use. I'm already signing up for my trip to the next international trip, because I was like, oh my God, that was so much fun. So, this has been amazing talking to you. Girl, we're gonna catch up again soon. But thank you again for coming. And for those that are listening, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share. If you'd love to reach out to Nakeisha and be a part and learn more about what they're doing, I'm going to leave the link below so that you can be a part of that and support them. Thank you so much for your time today. And until next episode, see you next time.